Hey there. Today I want to talk about a recipe that I have posted on my blog. Your choice of buns or rolls. I like this recipe because it is so simple. Like super quick. Last minute you think about it, you just want to do it. It's the best thing that you could just throw together. I like doing them in small little balls so that I can make them for a quick yeast roll for any kind of get together or anything like that. So I'm going to kind of take you along for tonight. I'm getting ready to make, I don't even know if it's going to work or not. You know me, I'm always trying something new. If it doesn't work, I don't post it. If it works, I post it. But anyways, so tonight I plan on making some homemade little chicken nuggets. I've improvised because I didn't have any milk. I'm out of kefir. I definitely don't have any buttermilk. And so I was like, what do I do? The only thing I have is half and half. And I had just enough left for this recipe, and I added some lemon juice to it. So key trick is you can use half and half, and you can use lemon juice to add to it. I did that the other night when I made my chocolate sourdough cake, which turned out amazing. Everybody really enjoyed it. I've actually shared it with some people, and they really like it. But anyways, so today's focus though is on this one specific recipe because I wanted to give it to you. I want to show you how simple it is, I guess. From start to finish, how easy it is. In the meantime, I'm going to be making those chicken nuggets, but I'm also going to start this. So I want to show you really quick how we start it from start to finish, to just kind of work you through it. Now I am going to do it in the mixer. I usually do it in my bread machine just because my bread machine, it just takes a load off of me. I put it in the bread machine. It literally does all the dough mixing and everything like that, and I don't have to do anything. I walk away from it, I piddle, I do what I'm doing. For 30 minutes, it does all the kneading and all that stuff, and then I don't have to do it. Now, 30 minutes is a long time. You don't have to knead it for 30 minutes. Literally, by hand, you knead it for about 5 minutes, and then it's finished. And then you just let it rise. So they're very quick, very simple. I really, really think that if you like the yeast texture, now I do a lot of sourdough. That's preferably what I like. I have one child, she loves the yeast factor. The other one prefers the sourdough. So I mean, it's one of those things we're all over the board, but I like getting simple things to my family that are homemade that I don't have to go to the store and do. So tonight, since we are stuck in here, I'm sure by the time you get this, it's long past because I'm doing these videos as I can. I have a child that has the flu. I'm hoping that none of us get it. So I have all of my nice little remedy medicines. I'll insert a little picture here. And you can see, I make my own medicine too. But anyways, that's a whole nother post for another day. But let's get on to this recipe. I think you're gonna enjoy it. I hope you try it. And if you do, the link for the recipe will be in the description box below. Make sure you go to makeandmaking.com. If you try the recipe, please give me 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. I don't care, just, oh, there's my timer. For some stars, so that I can show that this recipe is a really good recipe. So you just really find out the warmest temperature. You don't want it hot because you'll kill your yeast if you have it too hot. The temperature is on the recipe, so you will see that. I think it's like 110 degrees. I'm not even going to go there because I don't have it written down in front of me. I usually have it on my phone to where I can see what it says. But anyways, so a cup of water and a cup of water plus 2 tablespoons of water, and then 2 tablespoons of your yeast. You want the rapid rise yeast. Now I do have bread machine yeast. I also have the rapid rise yeast. To me, I don't know. Everybody has an opinion. Some people say it makes a difference, some people don't. It works for me. Either one, it just works. So that's the first step of doing this. So now the next step, we want to get onto it. Okay, so the reason why my timer went off, as you can see, is my mixture here, my yeast mixture. So your temperature on your water is to be warm. It says between 110 to 115 degrees, I think. on the recipe, but don't quote me on that. Make sure you check the recipe out. But anyways, this is what happens after 5 minutes. So your yeast will begin to bubble. Now, I did make a mistake and I got sidetracked with trying to video at the same time, and that's probably something I don't need to do. But anyways, this is, I did the water and the yeast first, and then I added the sugar and the oil that I use. So don't let that hinder you if you actually get to the point where you make a mistake like that. Mistakes can be fixed, pretty much. My husband taught me that over time, because like literally if you go in and you read all about me at Making, you'll understand that I am not a cook. He is the cook. I just learned over time. But anyway, so the next thing that we're going to do to this recipe is we are going to add the rest of our ingredients. So we've already gotten our yeast and gotten it all nice and started and everything. So now we're going to move on to our next step. So on to our next step. So the goal is here to add, we want to add 1 room temperature egg. So make sure that your egg is at room temperature. And if you are like me, and sometimes I forget to set my egg out for room temperature, you can always just run it under the water, a little bit of warm water, and usually that will work. I just run it under there for just a little bit until it kind of becomes a little bit warm to the touch. You don't want to cook the egg in the water, but you just want to get it warm to the touch. So if you forget to set it out, don't worry about it. But room temperature eggs do help your stuff to rise a little bit better. I have found that is true. Even especially when you're doing keto baking, if they say put it out at room temperature, it's better for you to stick it out at room temperature. Then that way you'll make sure that you get it right every time. So the next thing that we're going to add is we're going to add a teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to add 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. Now, when you go to add your flour, keep in mind that you're playing it by ear. So I usually go ahead and add 3 cups of flour, and then I add a little bit of flour at a time until my dough gets the consistency of that I think that it needs to be, as far as bread is concerned. So you don't want to give it too much flour, because if you give it too much flour, then your dough is going to be really, really dry. So play it by ear. Start with 3 cups of flour, and then after you add your 3 cups of flour, then gradually add in that other half a cup until you feel the consistency is right. If you're new to doing bread and stuff like that, don't let it overwhelm you. Trust me, because I was so overwhelmed when I began doing any of this. Like, just the same thing when I started doing keto, I was just like, I can't do this. I was terrible. When I started trying to do sourdough bread to make things easier for my family, I was upset, because I was like, I can't, this is so difficult. There were so many different people out there. And so don't stress yourself out of it. Make mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and then move forward. And that, if there's anything that I can tell you, it's moving forward. So it's kind of the same thing in pastoring for me. As a pastor's wife, I'm going to make mistakes. I do my best, but I'm going to make mistakes. And so I have to keep trying and trying again. So failure is not an option. This is what we should say. Failure is not an option. Got it? Are you doing it?
I'm videoing it.
So my son is videoing for me right here. Just pay attention and watch for it.
So guys, this is how you do it. Guys, my mom, she's doing very well.
The biggest and best compliment ever. All right, good. So as you can see, this is what they look like before they go in the oven. I made them very small. I'm not making hamburger buns. I'm just making little rolls. Okay, so I kneaded the dough, got the dough all kneaded and everything, and then I cut it into small balls. Now, these are smaller than what I would typically do. I'm just making them as little rolls. I'm not worried about the size of them, so they're a little bit smaller. So it's up to you how big that you want them. Like I said, you can do them a little bit bigger and make hamburger buns out of them, or you can do them just like I did and just make a bunch of little rolls. I like the little rolls just because that way maybe I won't eat too much of them, but at least I'll get a few of them. And my husband came to the rescue. I won't show him to you, but he came to my rescue and finished up my chicken, which is really, really good. Of course, I'm sure he put his touch on it. It probably wasn't my doings at all. But anyways, so I'll let you see these rolls once they come out of the oven. Once they come out of the oven, then we'll be chowing down on those. Y'all, these rolls are yummy. I wish you could smell them over what my children and my family are doing. They're being nuts. But look at these rolls. They're amazing. I'm getting ready to take them out. Perfect size. Perfect bite size. So as you can see, they turned out really good. You have to pardon my husband and my son. They were aggravating me. I told them to be quiet so that I could do something. And that's probably what you're going to see on Making is how crazy we can be. Because we are literally crazy. But we're here for your encouragement to let you know that we're normal just like everybody else. And no matter what you see out there on social media, no matter how much people try to look like they're something that they're not, we are all human. And we all make mistakes. But we can come back from those mistakes and we can do better than what we did before and learn from our mistakes. So I hope you've tried out this recipe. If not, please try it. The link will be in the description box below, and then you can give it a try. As for now, I'm gonna have to clean up this mess that if I had been cooking the chicken, it probably wouldn't be as bad as what it is right now. We won't go there. I'm just thankful for the help, because if I did not have my husband help me, I couldn't do this alone. The journey is worth it, trust me. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time on Making.